Hello everybody, my name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks preview. And today we have a special guest in the super test. It is a tank we already had in the game. It sadly got replaced by the Quickybaby and it is called the Aufklärungspanzer V or the AufklärungsPanther. A tank which back in the days many people disliked because it was not your traditional medium tank, light tank. See, I already said the wrong thing about this tank because it is a light tank and not a medium tank. If you are interested to see how bad I was back in the days with doing videos, here I'll leave you in the comment section below a video where I make a little review about the awful Panther or the Aufklärungspanzer Panther. Again, back then I really loved that tank. But well, the first few things we have, it will be not tier 7 anymore, it will be tier 8 and it will be at that a premium tank. And the most important thing is that so far what we know is it's not intended for the premium shop. And well, the people from the Armor Patrol are speculating that they will be a personal mission reward. I have to say, this speculation is actually pretty darn good. Why is it pretty darn good? Because on 9.20.1 we have some changes to those missions. They will be different and they will have a new layout. You have different tasks to how to solve them, which is rather interesting. But well, let's have a look at the stats of this tank. 1100 hit points being a rather decent amount of hit points for a tier 8 light tank. It will have an engine of 900 horsepower, a weight of 41 tons and a power to weight ratio of 21.56. And here we go so already. This tank used to be devastating when it comes to ramming away other light tanks, and this is what this tank made to shine. It was a mix between a medium and a light tank with a gun which was back in the days really darn good. Maybe I can just find it here. Yes, it was just 7. It used the 5.5 centimeter Waffe 0725, which has 155 millimeters of penetration and 135 millimeters of damage, 150 damage. Okay, it used to be not such a bad gun, and well, many people disliked it because, well, it was not a traditional scout. Because look how big this tank is, and this won't change. And as you can see, it will keep its engine as well as its weight, as we can see from here and here. And well, this will be amazing when it comes to ramming away other tanks. Seriously, I will be really looking forward to playing this tank again. It has a maximum speed of 60 kilometers per hour and negative 22 for the backward speed. The hull traverse is 44 degrees, turret traverse 46 degrees, and the terrain resistance for such a big vehicle is amazingly good with 0.7, 0.8 and 1.7. Usually those values are around 1 to 2. The fuel range, in my opinion, is rather not yet good. As you can see, on tier 7 it already had 390 meters, and on tier 8 they won't be changing that either. And as you can see, back then I still had the what's it called, this little thing, coated optics, and the wells at 441 meters of fuel range, even though I had already some fuel range skills. But with a decent enough crew, this tank will have its 445 meters of fuel range, which is really important for a scout tank. But well, what do we have here? The same amount of armor as it used to have, and this is how it looks. Yes, this tank has 85 millimeters of upper front armor. And now, yes, dear viewer, I know you will say, but RagingRaptor, that's not good. And I totally agree with that. Why do I agree and say that this tank's armor is really good? Because thinking about fighting against other tanks, like other scout tanks, like the new ELC, which I will be talking about in another video. Most importantly is to know that if you ram somebody, it will be calculated with your speed, your armor, your horsepower. And goes for same for an enemy. And this is why an E50M is so absolutely bonkers when it comes to ramming. Why is an E50M so bonkers when it comes to ramming? Great frontal armor and high weight and speed. And this tank is roughly an E50M in small, an E50M to bully out enemy tanks, enemy light tanks. I even would say, I wouldn't go so far, this tank could reliably ram other medium tanks, even heavy tanks, maybe even an IS-3. We'll have a look at that shortly because we have the time for that. And well, the IS-3 is, well, it is a heavy tank, yes, but the armor, to be honest, is not that strong. It gets its biggest armor from its, well, its hull, its pike nose. And now let's have a look where this is the HP to ton ratio. I'm searching for the weight of that tank, which is here, 49, roughly 50 tons. You could reliably ram people with your AufklärungsPanther. Even an IS-3, you sure will get a little bit more damage than him, but you will give him a lot of damage too, because your frontal hull is rather good, and your weight is roughly the same-ish, just 9 tons, shy of 9 tons. But you have a lot better HP to ton ratio or horsepower in general. So yeah, what do we have next? And this is probably the most important one. It has apparently the same crew member layout, but apparently it has the same gun. No, it has a different gun as it looks like. Let's go back here, maybe here. The AufklärungsPanther has 135mm of damage, which is fair enough, yes. Has a decent enough, the real time is really good with this tank, and I think this will sadly won't be the case anymore. As you can see, the DPM goes up and the real time goes up as well, goes down, excuse me. When we compare it to this one, it has still the same gun, but the gun is getting supercharged to 221mm of armor penetration. I'm still searching where Mr. Old RagingRaptor is having a look at the, there we go. The gun will get standard APCR penetration, as you can see here, 221mm of APCR penetration with the old Waffe, and here we have standard penetration of 221. I don't know yet if this tank will get premium rounds or if it will just stay with this, but oh lord, 221mm of standard penetration. This is the best value for non-heavy, non-TDs on tier 8. And I'm not going to lie, if we compare it, sneak peek at the ILC Even or Even 90, this one has 175. This one has 215 with gold, and you have here 221 with standard, it looks like. Do you see why I'm a little bit hyped about that tank? Sure, your DPM goes down a little bit, but your accuracy is still enormous, aim time is still splendid. DPM is still not too shabby, and because you still reload so fast, around 3.5 seconds with a good crew and good consumables and whatsoever, you will still have not a big problem if you miss something. Plus you have 221mm of penetration. Yes, it is APCR, but it's so much, like holy sheesh. Seriously. And well, minus 10 degrees of gun repression, most likely forward to cyber. Cyber is definitely forward. It could be a little bit harsh to receive that. But as you can see, the shells stay the same. Sure, it is Russian end here, but this will be the penetration, this is the damage. And lastly and honestly, I think this tank model looks gorgeous. I always tend to say that wargaming screws up different damage models and HD models sometimes, but I have to say, when it comes to certain premium tanks, or maybe this will be even a reward tank, they certainly show how good they are in modeling those tanks. I personally really like how the AFK Panther looks. You have up here, you have this wooden... It really looks like they run over a fence, but it is mounted over here. I don't know what the point of this is. If you know, write it down in the comment section below. But from the side, from the back, this tank looks gorgeous. You have the hats, the Stahlhelm of your crew. You have those nice looking tracks and so on. And honestly, I think this tank model looks splendid. Sadly, the damage model is really not that phenomenal. As you can see, armor is missing where the tracks are, and frontally you are missing certain spots like the cannon port. I'm just going to make a short little shout out to something which seriously displeases me, and I will go in depth in another video about this because it's something which should not happen, and I think Wargames needs to stop. And it's about the damage models in general. This is the KV4, the old model, the old visual model. There we go. As you can see, it looks, yeah, not that good. The new model looks a little bit shiny, yes. This is from the 9.20.1, hello there, test server. And as you can see, it still has its weak spots frontally, right? But now we go to the collision model, to both those tanks. I'm doing you now a favor and doing this and this. And there we go. Old model has a 120mm weak spot, another 120mm weak spot, and, well, some weak spots on the gun mantlet. Now we look at here. Not only are those cannon ports not modeled anymore, as you can see, they're completely gone, meaning this tank has frontally, on the whole at least, no more weak spots. I'm not saying that the whole is in great armor. As you can see, you can angle this tank, yeah. This looks like good angling, and you get around 230 to 40, yes, there we go. 230 to 40 effective armor. It's not great, definitely not, but seriously, Wargame, you need to stop taking away weak spots. Seriously, this is something which is really, really something I dislike. And especially you are destroying those models, like, those are things which are missing in the damage model which are present. For example, in my opinion, it would be much easier to shoot over here because you have something standing out than to shoot at the flat surface, and I already talked about this. Because when we look at here, if you shoot at this, you have an immense of armor you need to penetrate to get through here. It's 400. If you shoot here, it's 120. Wargaming, why you do this? Anywho, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I was not too hyped, because actually I am hyped for this tank. Seriously. Especially when it won't be something like a premium tank which I need to invest money again, because World of Tanks is expensive when you want to do a video all about those tanks. When they come out on the live server, because, well, you are not a community contributor and you don't get the tanks for free to test them for some time. Well, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this tank. Thanks a lot for watching. Shout out to all the people which liked our Awful Panther. Don't forget, the giveaway is still going till the 30th of December, my birthday. Have fun, go in, get your tank, and good luck. Bye bye.